Hello, my most amazing artists, and welcome back to your Pop Art Onomatopoeias. This is week 5. So far, we have created the letters for our onomatopoeia. We did a black and white collage background, which we will work with today. And last week, we did a Ben-Day dot background. Whether you did it like I did and did a bubble wrap print, or you could have just drawn your dots on your paper, whichever one totally worked. It just depended on what materials you have at home. This week, we are going to be working with our black and white collage. And as you can see, I have transformed mine a little bit because it used to be just a regular rectangle, but I decided to cut it out into like a thought bubble shape, and I'll explain the shape and stuff more later on in this demo video. But you're going to need your black and white collage that we did a couple weeks ago. I believe it was in week 3. And you're also going to need a colored piece of paper. Now, for our colors, I'll explain that in a minute, but I chose white, okay? Because my letters are purple and my Ben-Day dot background was blue. So those are my 2 rainbow colors. Remember, we can only have 2 rainbow colors, and we can have as many neutral colors as we want to. So I chose white for the background, or kind of like the outline of this collage. This collage is actually what our letters are going to sit on next week, and this whole thing is going to be glued to our Ben-Day dot background. I know it's a lot of layers in this project, but it is going to look absolutely amazing. So of course you're going to need your black and white collage. You will also need some glue, some scissors, and a colored piece of paper like I said earlier, and possibly a pencil. I am so excited to start putting this pop art collage together, so let's go ahead and get to it. Alright guys, so the first thing that I'm going to do to start putting this whole collage together is I have chosen a construction piece of paper, colored piece of paper. And if you remember last week, I told you you can have 2 rainbow colors. That's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, or violet. Possibly pink if you wanted to do pink. So in this overall artwork, you can have 2 rainbow colors. Mine, I chose purple for my letters. And if you remember last week, I have a blue Ben-Day dot background. After you choose 2 rainbow colors, you can have any of the 4 neutral colors. That's white, black, brown, or gray. Okay, so since I've already used my 2 rainbow colors, I use purple and blue. For this piece of paper, I'm just going to choose white because that is a neutral color. We're doing that because we don't want our artwork to be like super crazy with color. Then we won't really be able to see our onomatopoeia, which is actually the main part of this collage. Okay, so I've chosen mine, and I'm just going to do white. I could have done black or brown or gray, but I think white suits my onomatopoeia because remember, mine is bubble and it's very light, very airy, so I didn't want to do anything too dark, so I decided to do white. Now I also have my black and white collage that we did in week 3, I believe, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over, and you can do any kind of shape you want because we don't want this to be a rectangle anymore. We want it to be either like a thought bubble, or if you look at pop art, sometimes they do like a zigzag shape all the way around. I think I just want mine to be kind of like a thought bubble. So I'm taking a pencil and I flipped it over on the back, and I'm just going to do some curvy lines all the way around. Okay, so mine is going to be like a thought bubble because if you remember, in pop art, onomatopoeias mainly showed up in comic book artwork. So we're going to try to mimic that with this shape. You can look up other pop art onomatopoeias and see other kinds of shapes. Like I said, you can do like a zigzag shape or maybe a wavy shape. Think about your onomatopoeia and what shapes kind of relate to that. So I chose a thought bubble because my onomatopoeia is bubble. All right. So after you've drawn your shape that you want this paper to be, you're just going to go ahead and cut it out. Alright, after you've cut it out, you'll have this scrap piece of paper that can actually just go in the trash can, and you will have your shape. And it actually looks really cool with this like collage and make it into a different shape. Makes it look a little bit more interesting. All right, so now I have my pencil again, and I'm just gonna hold this down. And what I'm gonna do is I wanna trace the shape of this on my colored piece of paper, okay? So I'm gonna hold it down. We don't want it to move around, okay? Because we're kind of tracing it, except we wanna come out a little bit. So I'm gonna start over here. And as you can see, my pencil's not right up against it to where I'm tracing the same exact size. I'm actually wanting this to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go outside just a little bit. Okay, see my paper ends right here, but I drew my line around it. Okay, it's okay if it goes off the page a little bit. We're just going to draw all the way around it. Okay. Last week I told you guys this artwork is very layered, so we're just creating one more layer before we put it all together. Alright, so I traced this shape onto here. I just made it a little bit bigger. Now I am going to cut this out. So after you've cut out your larger shape, that's a little bit bigger than our black and white collage, you guessed it, we are going to glue our collage to this bigger piece of paper. So to do that, I am going to take some white glue and just a little glue cup and a glue brush. Okay, you could do this with a glue stick, you could do it with a glue bottle, you could even use tape. Alright, and what I want to do is I want to use my best craftsmanship, and I'm just taking some glue and I'm just dotting it around the outside edge of my collage. Okay, I have flipped it over to the back. I'm not putting glue on the front. I flipped it on the back because that's the side we want to glue down. And I'm just putting little dots. You know, I don't want to put too much glue because then it's going to squish out the sides and it's going to look really messy and it's going to be super sticky and stuff. So just around the edges, not too much glue, just enough so all of our edges are glued down. Alright, once you have glue all the way around the edge, we are going to take our colored piece of paper that we just cut out, and I'm going to flip my collage over and I'm going to try to line it up in the center as best as I can. And I'm just going to press down carefully on those edges, and some glue, if you use too much, it might squirt off the sides, but you can just wipe it on your finger and wipe it on your messy mat because we don't want that glue to ruin the look of our beautiful pop art collage. And this part is actually going to go on our Ben-Day dot background. You can see how it really stands out against that bright blue color. Since I use neutral colors here, this stands out a lot more. If this was very colorful, it would kind of blend in with the background, and that's not what we want, okay? So, we're actually not going to use our Ben-Day dot background this week. We're going to use that next week, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what this is going to look like, and it's going to look really cool. And I think that's all we're going to do this week, and next week we're going to put it all together. So you're going to need your letters, and if you want, you can go ahead and cut these letters out because we will do that next week. But I thought that this kind of took a little while, so we'll just do this week so you can choose the right colors and really take your time to make this look beautiful and really neat. So if you want, you can go ahead and cut your letters out, but I'll wait till next week to do that for mine. So next week you're going to need your letters, you're going to need this that we completed this week, and you will need your Ben-Day dot background, and we will finally put this beautiful pop art collage all together, and it's going to look so cool. I cannot wait to see them. So that is it for this week. I hope you guys have a lot of fun creating this part of our collage. I can't wait to see how yours turn out. I know they're going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.